It's 5 a.m. somewhere, so that means the garbage collectors are coming to take out the trash. But we won't throw you out.
Welcome to Your Trash Pals podcast. We're coming to you live from the corporate office. You're on an HR call now, and you've been very bad. So we had to come back after several months of not responding to your emails, and we're back here in the office to scold you. That's what this podcast is all about.
So funny.
Otherwise, we're a podcast about comics, art, culture, and whatever little bits of trash we found while picking through the garbage bin. I'm Van Notes, Director of HR, and your personal nightmare in Microsoft Teams.
Yeesh. I'm Wren, and I'm on Slack. That's it. I'm just on Slack.
We're a dual Slack of Microsoft Teams corporation, subdepartments, and some individuals.
That's what my office is too.
Just use different platforms all the time. There's no telling which one you should be on. Everyone's on Notion, Trello, whatever Microsoft's doing to try and keep up with the boys. We're just totally, we're here.
We just got off Trello to go to GitHub projects, and it is much better than Trello. So that's my business tip, my little office tip.
That's what we're here for. We're here to provide those productivity hacks for our listeners. It's so exciting to be back here after we did our last episode. Was it July 1 or June 1? And now we're back here on the first day of October.
October.
I like this. I like that we left off on a 1 and we're back on a 1.
So funny. It's the circle of life. It's
so we have been on a little bit of a break. We took some time over the summer. School started, so we had to go get our school supplies, our new clothes from Old Navy, and went to the mall. And now we're back. We finished the start of school and we're back in the swing of things. And now it's spooky season.
I don't like spooky season. I like Christmas. So jot that down. I'm a Halloween tolerator.
You're in hell. You're in literal hell. You're in spooky, ookie dookie hell.
Pumpkin. Oh, I'm like, pumpkin, bats. That movie, something before Christmas. Tim Burton. I'm like, get this shit out of here. I want it to be Christmas.
This is the time of year when I add 1 million horror movies to my watch list, and I'm like, This is the year. This is the year I'm actually gonna be spooky. And then will I watch any of them? No. Nope.
So funny. I just watched this YouTuber Foundflix. He does movie explains and summaries and stuff. He just did one on the movie Longlegs with Nick Cage. That movie's crazy. Bonkers. It's a thriller, horror thriller. I truly was like, he's explaining it to me, but I don't know what the fuck is going on.
I love that you watched a movie through a YouTube explainer video.
I do that all the time, especially horror movies.
I do like to go on Wikipedia pages for horror movies because they make it seem so boring and not interesting. Whereas I know if I had the visceral adrenaline-based experience of watching the movie, it would be thrilling. So exciting.
I know myself fairly well, and I am a scaredy cat. Some would say a fraidy cat, a various types of cats that get spooked easily. And so I just know I can't watch these kinds of movies, but I want to know what happens in them. I want to be in the cultural zeitgeist. I want to be able to have a conversation about Longlegs or Saw or whatever. And I watched Foundflix and then the kill count to tell me what's happening in horror movies.
I love the experience of watching a scary movie, but it has to be I must be in optimum settings. I must have all the lights out. I must be in just the perfect mode, and if anything breaks the illusion, then I'm out. I want my perfect spooky.
I thought you were gonna say all the lights on, and I was like, yeah, I agree. But all of them off. That's some spooky behavior in itself.
Just the blue of the screen to,
Oh my god.
warm the room.
Warm the room. You know what movie I've never
Ooh,
seen, always wanted to see?
what's that?
American Psycho.
I couldn't tell you what that movie is.
Really? I've watched a bunch of like explains about it, but I still want to see it because I'm like, what the hell is going on in that bad boy?
I'm very excited to we have some very special guests coming up, who will be revealed week to week, that will force you to watch the spooky content that we crave this Halloween.
Yes. I thought you meant me, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna watch anything spooky. I'll watch it explained.
I love that we have someone who's potentially going to come on and talk about Scooby-Doo, and you're like, I won't watch Scooby-Doo, I'll watch the explainer.
Well, I will watch Scooby Doo. I like Scooby Doo Zombie Island. That's my favorite Scooby Doo feature. So I'll watch that. But if it's anything else, any other spooky Scooby Doo from the later years, like with John Cena or the people from Supernatural, I don't know if I can do it. It's too real. It's too HD.
We have a duty to the listeners, Wren. We every week, every once in a while, they tune in and they expect us to provide hard-hitting research through personal lived experience. We don't just regurgitate. We're not AI. We have a duty.
Doodie.
Was that your
I was like,
Chappel
how do you
Roan?
spell that?
While we were gone, Chappel Roan did rise to fame. That is an
Yeah.
interesting phenomenon. We signed off before she exploded, and now she's just part of daily life. My niece and nephew listen to Chappell Roan, which is wild.
I like her work a lot. She used to open for Olivia Rodrigo, and I'm a big Olivia Rodrigo fan, so I listened to her a little bit before the boom. Not to brag, but yeah, it's interesting with how she interacts with the media because she's not media trained. She's just like a guy. And so just like when she was like, hey, if you see me on the street, like fuck off, like don't look at me, don't talk to me, it got twisted into being like she hates her fans, she doesn't want to interact with her fans. But it's like that's just like a weird thing to do, like to come up to like a person, even if they're famous. I always thought it was weird to like come up to them and be like, I demand like your time or like a photo with you or like a signature. I've always thought it was very strange behavior. But I've also never met a celebrity in my life.
I think a lot of people meet celebrities in airports as they're just like hanging out. And I feel like sometimes you just have to talk to a celebrity for your peace of mind to be like, is it that person? But sometimes the mystery to yourself of like, did I actually see Sam Elliott? Did I actually see, I'm just listing random celebrities,
So
Viola
funny.
Davis?
So funny.
That
I may have seen John Mulaney in a Dwayne Reed's across from the Pratt Manhattan campus, but I wasn't sure. I got so like big eyed and like starstruck, and it could have been a random man because the way he was looking at me, he was like, "What the fuck." But I just don't know. To this day, I say it's John Mulaney, but it could have just been a random man.
sometimes that's more fun. Sometimes it's better when it could have been John Mulaney.
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend who was so excited to tell me that she met a super niche golf star in a pancake house. And which maybe he wasn't that niche, but I think he was maybe an Olympian or something. But it was from the like 80s Olympics or something, or like it was a while ago. But she was so excited about it, and I was like, everyone's someone's celebrity that they'd like to see at a pancake house.
It's true. I actually today got a Discord request from someone who read my comics and found me on Steam and then found me on Discord. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. That's cool. But also like, what?
Theater?
That's my second fan encounter.
Ooh.
Yeah, the other one was the same. They were just like, I like you. Can we talk on Discord? And I was like, okay. But this was before like I understood like sometimes like people can be invasive, and I was like, sure, whatever. I don't care if someone who likes my comics is now ingrained in my like personal like circle of things I do, because I'm changing my Discord name. I used to change it all the time to like degenerate and like other things like that. Please, I have to keep my secret life under wraps.
I love that you're just describing how we became friends, and how you need to
So
stop.
funny. No, no,
me,
no.
me just looking you up after reading SVA Inc. and being like, I want to be friends with other cartoonists my age who are
That's
also
different.
going to art school.
Yeah, that's different. That's wholesome because it's you. I'm like anybody else. It would also be wholesome because we were in college, and that was like such a different time with the internet. It wasn't so like parasocial, I'd like to say.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't
I think.
feel like, uh-huh.
Oh, I just think there's something like when you're like peer to peer, like interacting, networking, as
Mhm.
someone might say. But when like you're a peer, like reaching out to another peer, and you're like near the same age, you're at the same like skill level, same like point in your careers, like
Mhm.
that's really nice. Or like someone like wanting mentorship who's maybe like a step behind you,
Mhm.
but it can be kind of weird if like you're interacting with someone and they're like so far ahead of you, like career wise, or they're like so far behind you where it's like, I don't think I can help you. Or,
Yeah.
like, I don't know sometimes if this relationship can be meaningful if you're like wanting some kind of reciprocation. Or, but on the other hand, if Hayao Miyazaki slid into my DMs and was like, I want to be your best friend, I would say, sir, I've seen all the documentaries about you, and I think you should take a nap.
So funny. You guys can like get those pillows where it has like a heartbeat or something, and he can take a nap and you can take a nap, and then you'll know the other one is taking a nap. You know what I'm talking about?
I didn't know these existed, and that's awful. I hate that
They're
so
for
much.
couples. They're for long distance relationships. They're
Oh,
marketed as something cute, but they are pretty weird.
that's like sci-fi short story. That sounds like yeah, sci-fi short story about how like I don't want to disparage anyone who would utilize such a device because it does sound like an intimacy thing, but
Mm.
it's also just weird. That sounds scary to me.
Scary. They'll know if you like.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god. I said scary and my little Siri was like, huh?
Oh,
But on my iPad, which is like across the room, scared me. Literally, speaking of naps, I was taking a nap today. And like
hot news.
my dog Jakey was like laying next to me or something. And he like woke up and like shook himself off. And nothing has scared me more in my life than like the feeling of like the bristling of fur, because I thought it was hair. And I was like, who is in my bed right now? What ghost is in my bed? It was too much.
Just like shimmying on you, just shimmying
Yeah.
their hair across your body.
Honestly, I'm like, don't do that to me, you spooky ghost. But then it was just my dog. Like
Oh,
anything weird, I'm like, is a ghost. There was a mouse in my room like a couple months ago, and it was like making all this noise. And my first reaction was like, ugh, there's a ghost in my room. Instead of like There's a mouth.
There's an illogical explanation for this phenomenon that's happening.
Exactly. Exactly.
Let's see. We have a list of topics that I've jotted down for. Normally, we start our episodes off with "What trash have you been consuming?"
Oh yeah.
But we've consumed so much trash since the time we last recorded. So I jotted down a few things here. The first one on the list is I watched a half episode and then it got too real for me of just being people I knew in my life or like just feeling like I did not like these people at all. But Secret Lives of Mormon Wives has been in the zeitgeist. Did you
Yeah.
watch all of this show so far?
I did. I watched it with my friend Sylvia, who has been on the podcast. Shout out Sylvia. We watched it on Hulu together, which I think it is on. And that show, like, so how far did you get in the half episode?
I got to the part where they did some TikTok dances together. There was one gal who was a hot mess and her mom was saying she was stupid, which I was like, oh, that's gonna mess you up. Like, that's not I could see where some damage is coming from. But yeah, that's about as far as I got. They kept alluding to the fact that some of them were swinging, or had been swinging. Many were protesting whether they'd been swinging or not. Swung.
So you didn't get
So
to the arrest part of the first episode.
no.
So the one who has been swinging with her ex-husband, used to swing with her ex-husband, started dating this new guy who is trash. He sucks. He sucks so hard that I don't even remember his name. But I only remember like one of their names, so that's on me. But she was dating this new guy, and they are so explosive and toxic and like yelling at each other, not physical but just yelling at each other, that the girl who swung got arrested for domestic, I guess she did hit him, domestic battery or something like that, and was in jail for like a significant amount of time, and then they had to pick back up filming the show. I'm like, that's crazy.
Whoa.
If that happens,
There was
I'm
a
like,
time skip.
Yeah, truly, there was a time skip. And so she was like super duper thin in the beginning, and then she comes back, and I was like, who is that? Because she comes back pregnant, and I'm like, I don't recognize her because she's like a bee, like a bee. You know what I'm talking about?
Uh-huh.
Like the letter, not like the bug. And so I was like, who is that? But Sylvia explained to me is the same girl. But basically, like the through line is that like there's this girl Whitney, and she is somehow the villain of the show because, and I'll tell you why, she like pulled like a mean prank and then like told one of the other girls, like one girl A was talking to girl B about girl C, and Whitney told girl C what girl A said to girl B, and in front of like everybody, because it was like really hurtful. And then also Whitney didn't want to be friends with the girl who like is pregnant and did the domestic battery thing, and she didn't want to be friends with her, and she kind of didn't want to be friends with any of them for a minute, because they all like turned on her and kind of had been turning on her for a while. And I'm like, in retrospect, like, that's a weird thing to make her the villain about. She just seemed like she just wasn't like into mom talk anymore, instead of like the swinger who like who was still consistently having like problems with her mom and her boyfriend, and her boyfriend was having problems with like all the girls in the group. So I'm like, what's that about?
What's that about?
What's that? But
Should I finish? Should I finish the
yes,
short season? Okay.
yes, you should. It's good. It's pretty
Like
good.
it does escalate.
Yeah, but it doesn't a weird way, and I don't know how to describe it. but it does so in a way that makes you like hate Whitney. And then when you like separate it from the realm of reality TV, like you think about it a little bit more, you think about it critically, and you're like, what? This seems contrived.
Mm, mm. Yeah, okay. I'm kind of on a It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia kick right now because I'm watching
Mm.
it for the first time, and
Oh,
it's
that's
been
good.
accompanying me as I've been inking.
Hmm.
And I only have one more thing to ink now. So once I'm done inking, when I go into coloring, I have a feeling my appetite for trash reality TV will spike again. Because I don't need to feel joy while I'm coloring. I like
That's
to
so fun.
feel miserable and hateful. So yeah, I'll start watching again. I think I
Do you
watched.
not like coloring?
Oh, I hate coloring
You're
comics. It's
crazy.
miserable to me. That's why I always pay someone or call in my favors to have someone flap for me. And
Mm.
then I just am spiteful and hateful the entire time I finish coloring.
You're so funny. I didn't know that. I just assumed that I don't know what I assumed. I was just like, Chase is neutral or Van Notes is neutral on coloring. Hi, I'm here to dox you like once every season.
Ah, yes, a good old fashioned doxing of my semi public identity. I very much, but you won't find me on Star Wars Hunters using my real name. You gotta find my gamer tag. But yeah, no, I absolutely don't like coloring at all. But it is a fundamental part of the process, and I don't like when I am not the person who colors my work. It always looks nasty to me. So I have to go in with my gradients and my 25% opacity layers.
That's so funny. I love coloring. It's one of my favorite parts, but like specifically if I'm like going in with like watercolors and stuff like that. I don't mind other flatting or other coloring styles, but I'm a watercolor like purist. Like that is the way it should be done.
You're like, let me break out my color palette. We're coloring this like Tintin. We're
Exactly.
like the old masters.
Exactly. Except I'm in Clip Studio Paint.
I did mention Star Wars Hunters, which has been. Let me. You know what? I'm gonna actually dox myself, and let's see how many hours I've put into Star Wars Hunters
Mamma
since it
mia.
came on the scene. A arena battle game for children that I love to play, so that I can just destroy children. Just I'm sure there's young folks who've read my graphic novels, my Spy Ninjas, my Piggies, and they've thought to themselves, "I really like this comic," and then I've murdered them in Star
Murder.
Wars Hunters.
Who's your main?
Uh, let's see. So my favorite, I have a few mains because you have to have like if you're like going into a ranked match and
Mhm.
someone's already claimed like all the like damage hunters and all the tanks, then you want to play support. So I tend to like cycle through, and I like to be well balanced in all of them in case
Mhm.
there's an event and I have to play one of the other characters. So let me pull up some of my favorite ones. First, let's get an hour count on how much I've put into this game.
Oh boy.
Where is that? In the Nintendo Switch Aroo.
It's
Is
like
it
in
here?
your about or something like that.
Yeah. I have played 195 hours
That's not
of Star
bad.
Wars Hunters. That's a lot for me.
So funny. You're talking to someone who has clocked over 600 hours in Tears of the Kingdom, something like that. Some
That's a lot
insane
of video
number.
games for me.
I have like
Um,
350 hours on Animal Crossing. I'm like 100 hours. Oh, you barely like that game.
I mean, it's almost 200 hours. In comparison,
I'm
I put 150 hours into Smash Bros. It looks like. So let's see. Which I feel like that's nothing actual Smash players. Like, they would probably hear that and be like, Nubasaurus Rex over here.
Nubasaurus. My brother
Uh,
is like a serious Smash player. I'm like, I'm so bad compared to him. He's too good. The young man.
So I really like Pillbush, who's the new Ewok, who
Mm-hmm.
drives a like little makeshift at around the arena and shoots little grenades. Really like Pillbush, new addition for this season, and I love her. I love her a lot. Aaron
Aw.
Tall, love Aaron Tall, who's the Mandalorian. I wasn't that great at playing him because he's a glass cannon at
Mm.
first, so I had to learn you gotta attack, then you gotta zip out of there. You can't stick around. Really like J3DI, who's a droid who believes he's a Jedi, which I
Ooh.
love characters that think they're something cooler than they are. That's a character archetype I really enjoy. Utuni, who is just two little Jawas stacked on top of each other, the like little
Ooh.
sand guys.
Yeah.
So, and it's just you don't know whether they're I don't know whether it's canon whether they're siblings or lovers, but I choose to believe they're lovers.
That's really cute.
I, I choose to believe they're little gays
Little
together.
gays.
And then I like Zaina a lot. She's a healer. She's great in combat scenarios. And then I really like Chaos, who's a like battle droid who makes shields with her arms. So yeah, I have played so much of this game, and I opened it up, and there's a new event. There's always new events because it's designed to make you keep playing more and more. So you buy new skins and crap like that.
It's Fortnite.
I haven't bought crystals yet, but I've been
Oh,
so close, so many times.
that's so funny. I've never bought in I've never bought mobile in-game currency, but I think I have bought some game currency, but I couldn't tell you what. It was for an MMO years ago, many moons
Mm,
ago when I was young and foolish.
a Warcraft, a Wizard 101.
So funny. No, like a perfect world, like life kind of situation.
Mm,
Very
mm.
anime inspired because I was a weeb.
Did you just adjust your fake glasses just
Yes.
now? Just the little, a little single, or how is it always? They use a weird finger normally to adjust their glasses.
Oh
Like,
yeah, I guess it's not the middle finger, which is what I did. It's this one.
just a little other new development. This is trash. This got released, and I was like,
Mhm.
this is the kind of content that I feel really resonates with the energy of our podcast.
Mhm.
Stefani Germanotta dropped her new album, The Gaga,
Oh,
and it is so silly. Have you listened to it yet?
like I listened to one song because it was like with somebody else. I think it was with Bruno Mars of all people.
No, no, no.
And who was it with?
That's not this album.
Oh, she was like dressed like a cowgirl or something like that. Wait, let me
She
check.
did drop a song with Bruno Mars. That is the truth.
Okay,
But that
that
wasn't
must
on
be what
this
I
album.
heard. Okay, I haven't heard
This
anything from
album,
this.
she is doing show tunes covers.
No.
Like, everyone was thinking that it was going to be like something else. It is
Mhm.
her mostly doing show tunes. Not the songs that are going to be in this new Joker Folie à Deux movie. Just some ones she really likes, and then she wrote an original song. And I would like to read you some lyrics from this.
Please
Uh,
do.
because it is. Oh wait, is it not an original song?
Oh, it's not?
It's not. This is another one of the. This is one of her covers, but she did it really dark, so it sounded like not. It sounded like an original song because it was so ridiculous.
What song is it?
Stephanie, she got me once again.
What is that
Um,
from?
I thought this. I thought the song "Always a Joker" was an original because I thought it was so hilarious. But it's from an old musical, like many of them, called "The Roar of the Grease Paint: The Smell of the Crowd,"
That's so funny.
which looks like is a play of vaudeville or something.
Okay. Oh, that makes sense with the title.
Yeah. Oh, this is so funny.
I'll have to
Drink the
listen to
poison
it.
because there's always a loser in the game. The court loves to watch them cry. Anyway, it sounds so hot topic-y. It's
Does it really?
great.
That's
Yeah,
so funny.
it's at least that song. And she also yells at a certain point, "The Joker is me," in her signature voice. And it's great.
Have
Is
you
there
when's
a
the la-
single original song?
I I I did hear vaguely about this album, but I didn't realize it was all show tunes or just about if there is a original song.
She also, this was the most hilarious thing, is she sings like some traditional like songs like "Oh When the Saints,"
That's so
and
funny.
every every single like across the board non-black gay posted something to the effect of "Take Me to Church Gaga," and it was as the kids say, cringe.
That's so funny.
Okay, Folia Do and Happy Mistake are, there's two. I thought there was three original songs, but
Mhm.
there's two original songs. I could not tell you which ones, just from my initial listen. But
I'll have to listen to it. I'm like I still remember the first time I ever heard Born This Way. I was
mhm.
in the parking lot of a Red Lobster and my mom I wanted to listen to it on the radio when it dropped and my mom was like, can we just listen to smooth jazz? It's been a long day. I really don't want to listen to this fucking song. And I'm like, I'm like 13 or 14 or whatever. You are stifling my creativity and you don't even understand. So funny. So she let me listen to it, and then I didn't even like it that much, I've come to appreciate it.
Stefani Germanotta is a interesting character. I don't even know how to process her anymore. This truly is like if Rachel Berry from Glee like recorded like an album. Like
Hmm.
it is it is so Glee coded.
That's so funny. I've never seen Glee.
Oh my.
Yeah,
I
I'm
can't
a gay
believe.
who's Glee free.
God, what must it be like? I don't know.
Every day I wake up and I don't think about Simon Schuster or whatever the fuck that guy's name is. Um,
That's a publisher.
the guy,
I
the
would like
teacher
Simon
guy.
Schuster to know that I think about them every day, hoping that they'll publish one of my little funny books.
What is the teacher's name then?
Will Schuster. You were close.
Honestly, I
Schuster's
was in
funny.
the ballpark.
I like the idea of it being like Simon and like abbreviated Schuster. There you go.
And they killed I watched a video about the making of the show, making Glee or whatever the hell it was called. And yeah, and I like watched a video about that, which subsequently led me to a video called the crimes of Glee. So
Mhm.
every time a character does like a crime, excuse me, does like a legal thing or like a immoral thing, it counts as a crime. So I have a very like disjointed knowledge of Glee. I just know it through its crimes, through the bad things that happen.
You only know it through its darkest underbelly. That's
Yes.
beautiful.
They killed the
So
coach.
they killed the coach?
Yeah, there was like a Asian coach who liked the lady that Will liked, and then they were dating, and then he disappeared, and later they were like, he's dead. That
Oh,
is
I
all I
don't even.
remember about Glee.
There's so much that happens in Glee that is not even near the top 1,000 thing I'd remember from the
So
show.
funny.
I would like to talk about my YouTube productivity videos. I've been very
Porn.
invested in. I'm since we left, I've gotten even more LinkedIn culture. I've gotten so into. I updated even my LinkedIn profile picture. That's how
Wow,
deep.
look
To
at
me, that's
you.
like totally selling out. Like just being like, I love you, corporate America is just me updating a profile picture.
So funny. Mine is still when I had purple hair. So like
It
2014.
just keeping it vintage, just keeping it young, fresh faced.
Yeah, youthful. I look vaguely the same except my hair is a different color and I have more like sadness in the face. My youthful joy has been drained.
They all like focus around like how to like min max your like skills or whatever. And
Hmm.
they're also really big into automation. They're like, you need to automate this, you need to outsource that. And then you watch like something like I just watched the Miyazaki and the Heron, the new documentary about
Hmm.
him that they filmed during The Boy and the Heron, and there's just
Hmm.
like videos of him like chopping wood. And it's like, oh, to be like a genius, you can just chop wood, you don't have to outsource chopping wood.
So funny. It's like slow living. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Did I tell
he's
you?
very intentional.
Mhm.
Oh, he's very intentional. Go ahead,
Yeah.
what were you going to tell me?
Okay. Did I tell you? This just made me think of it. If not for the religious and social and political connotations, I would love to be a trad wife.
Uh-huh.
But like not the one in like a field or like with cows or whatever, but like Nara Smith or like other person where they like just make bread from scratch and get to wear an apron and stuff like that, make crayons. I'm like, yeah, that seems like a beautiful life. I would love to do that. Um, but I wouldn't want to be like the man controls the household and like I'm a Republican and that's not interesting to me. But making bread from scratch definitely is.
How many times have you made bread from scratch in the last year?
Maybe 4 or 5 times. I make it for the
you
holidays.
you far exceeded my expectation of what you were going to say. I thought you were
So
going to be
funny.
like, I've never made bread in my life.
You fool. I went through a very strong baking phase and I've always been a person who's been like if I don't know how to do something, I can learn. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'll just figure it out. And I wanted bread and we didn't have any bread and the store was closed and I was like, well, time to learn and we happen to have yeast and stuff. And so, a white bread is super easy to bang out. I like to make milk rolls, like Japanese milk rolls. That's my specialty. But you can just bang stuff out. You can just make bread. Sylvia makes a chocolate cinnamon bread that I would
A,
kill and die for. It's so good.
a chocolate nutmeg ganache.
No, I'm allergic to nutmegs. So silky nutmeg ganache has to stay away from me. Oh wait, I'm allergic to hazelnut, not nutmeg. Regardless, stay away from me.
Stay away from me, drag queens. I'm allergic to
No drag
you.
queens in my space. Unless you are God, now I'm forgetting her name. Lady the British one who was on American Drag Race. You know what I'm talking about?
Lady Camden.
Yes, Lady Camden. She's my favorite. She's so cute.
Um, Delightful. I was so ready to like myth bust you and be like, you've never even made a bread. Why would you want
You
to be
fool.
a bread wife?
You fool. I made a lot of stuff from
I
scratch. I'm just a little. I would be a perfect trap wife because I'd be making these things from scratch. But no, I have to be a feminist and a liberal.
where were you on January?
Honestly, I live close to DC. Who knows? Who knows where I was?
um. Well, I'm glad we all learned something again. Once again, every time we're on this podcast, we solve racism, we bust down stereotypes, and since we've been gone, there's just been so much that's built up, and I'm so glad we've solved it once again.
Mm-hmm.
And then it'll just pop right back up next week.
It's like
And we can just
whack-a-mole.
keep squashing. So I was so ready to kick you out of the trad wife mold, but you said no, sir.
Mm-mm. And I've been to, gosh, what's it called? Free People. And they are, I think it's Free People. They are like a Mormon related clothing company. And I bought stuff from
Uh-huh.
there. And it was cute. And so, what can I say? I would like to be a trad wife, if not for the societal and political implications.
Meanwhile, there's some people who don't actually like making candles, but they're there for the societal and political implications.
Those poor women. We can
So
switch. They can,
sad.
like, I don't know, they can live in my tiny apartment and think mice are ghosts.
That's what you'll teach them. You'll teach them the feminisms and the spirit, the realm of the spiritual.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, I feel like we've covered many things, and my stomach is getting rumbly from not having enough veggie chicken in it. So we will wrap up this episode. It's been so nice to catch up and talk and know that other people will listen to our insightful comments and their lives will be changed and they'll give up this earthly vanity and they'll go back to making bread
We'll
and
all be
wearing
trad
long
wives together.
skirts. It's time for a trad wife revolution. That's what this podcast
Exactly.
is becoming.
Though I will
Um,
say, you'll have to pry my leggings out of my cold, dead hands. I will wear
oh,
leggings till the day I die. But maybe I'll
you,
consider wearing them under a apron. But that's about it. That's as close as we're gonna get.
you have to keep. Is it LuLaRoe? Is that the legging company, or is
Oh
it
yeah, but they
Lululemon?
imploded. Lululemon is
I
like
always.
they're like highbrow athletic wear.
Oh, that's right. We're bringing LuLaRoe back. We've bought the brand, and we're
So
coming back
funny.
hard.
It's so ugly.
They are not defunct. I can shop the latest styles now.
Oh. Are they ugly?
They have jumpsuits now, apparently.
Crimes.
Apparently, they only have a women's collection. There's no collection for the gents.
Leggings are
Feminism.
unisex. I stand by that.
Oh, this jumpsuit's bad.
What's it look like?
It looks like a bag.
A bag.
Oh, they also have pairing options here. I need to get out of here. This is a website I don't need to get sucked into. But if you would like to get sucked into that website, use our affiliate link, LuLaRoe / your trash pal.
So funny.
We get so much money from every pair of leggings sold. But thank you for listening to our podcast once again after our little in-between season hiatus. You can continue to follow the podcast on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Our live Twitch streams happen here on Tuesdays now. We changed our day because it was more convenient for our fall schedule. And we're going to try and get those episodes up to you on Friday. God willing.
Honestly,
the
God
Lord
willing.
with us. So.
Pray that I don't have a busy week. You can follow me at Wren.psd and Van Notes on Instagram at Van Notes Books. You can support our Ko-fi at kofi.com/yourtrashfiles.
And I'm going to finally figure out what to do with that there, Ko-fi. I'm going to add incentive tiers eventually here to cover all these highfalutin costs. Our bad habit of smoking cigars made of $100 bills. So we're just burning too much money. We got to make it back. But you can definitely write into the podcast at yourtrashpals@gmail.com. You can ask us all kinds of trash questions and we'll answer them here for you. I was hoping to come up with a different ending segment besides our fake ads at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I do actually want real ads at some point. That is one of my goals for season 2, to get one real advertiser. So I'll do a fake ad just for old time's sake until I can think of something better. Red, give me a number in between 1 and 50.
Oh, I'll give you my favorite number. 7.
Okay. We must have done 7 already because I forgot to put something new in it. It's blank.
So funny. I've said 7 before because it's my favorite number. 17. Or
Puberty.
47. Puberty.
Oh, puberty was 17. 47 was getting high and watching Planet Earth.
So funny. Let's do puberty.
What more can I say about getting high and watching Planet Earth? If there's something you want to do to take you back to the good old days, just get high and watch Planet Earth. It's fun for the whole family. Now that you're no longer in college and you have 2.5 children with your loving heterosexual spouse, just all get high together and watch Planet Earth. That's my ad.
Good job. You are puberty.
And once again, remember, after so many months, to reduce, reuse, and recycle. Yay!